It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan and Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Merry New Year! Merry New Year, everybody!
Jerky time!
How about it? Hey, it's Maz for the Ermanni, Edwards, and Maz show. I got my friend Terry Foster in. It's a holiday, Terry, so you are here.
Well, it is. I thought Edwards and Ermanni weren't going to show up if Alabama tapped that ass.
They didn't tap that ass.
Huh?
They didn't tap that ass.
They didn't.
No, Michigan won.
I know, but I thought they would only be missing if Alabama won because they didn't want to face the music.
Well, they were here and they were very happy. Ryan is on his way home. He'll be here tomorrow. Braylon had a family thing today. He will be here tomorrow. But my good friend Terry Foster in the house, Tom Mazaway as well, on Woodward Sports. Guys, what a great time to be a football fan here in the great city of Detroit. And it's about time, Terry. It took a long, long time to have something set up like this next weekend.
You know what? We are the epicenter of football.
Yes, we are.
College and pro. First of all, you got a team in the national championship game, and the Lions being talked about nationwide for getting screwed.
Absolutely.
So we're the epicenter, man.
I love it. I love it. Now, if we can only do basketball, hockey's okay. Red Wings got a win last night, 5-3 over the Sharks. But basketball is still not good. We're in Utah tonight. The Pistons are off a one-game losing streak.
Are you going to be in Utah tonight?
I am not.
But you said we.
We as in Detroit. I meant Detroit.
Well, no, it's the Pistons. And you're not a
No,
member
I'm
of the
not.
Pistons,
No, I never
so you're
say
not
we.
a we. You just said we.
I know, but I say we because I was talking about Detroit.
Okay.
The city of Detroit is in Utah. I'm not a we. Three Little Pigs story. I'm not that.
All right.
I'm very careful about that stuff.
Please.
So, guys, welcome into the show. I usually don't lead the show, as you can tell, but I got my man Terry here, and I just want to start it off. We were going to do Michigan to start it off, but we got time for that. Let's start off with the Detroit Lions. And the Detroit Lions had couple moves today. Dan Campbell spoke not too long ago, and he kind of said a couple of things. Well, Bruce Irvin was released, number 51. I thought he did great in a couple of spots that he was in. He was great to bring in, that veteran 36-year-old. We all say, what's he going to do? He came on in, and it was awesome. And then he got sat out a few games, and, well, it turns out the two guys, they talked, and they're going their separate ways. So Bruce Irvin is no longer here. Yesterday, Isaiah Buggs, as you heard, no longer here. They spoke about Jamison Williams and his injured ankle, if you remember that, off the Saturday night game, off that great pass from Goff to him. And, of course, we can't have anything beautiful here in Detroit. He's got to get hurt on that play. So no practice for J-Mo today. But Dan Campbell said full speed ahead for the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. He's playing his starters, Terry.
And he should. I absolutely agree with that. I think the Lions should play their regular lineup until that number 2 seed is no longer within grasp. Now, it's a long shot, but you do your thing to make those 4 o'clock games where Philadelphia and Dallas are going to mean something. Don't lay down, and then those games don't mean anything. Put yourself in the equation for as long as you can. So I'm playing my guys too.
Absolutely.
And that includes
obviously,
the offensive line that seems to get injured every game.
I know, but if they are a couple of banged up guys, I don't think I'm playing them. Like if Frank Ragnow is injured, he's hurting, I'm going to rest him. I really am. I want to win this game, but in reality, if you look at the playoff scenario, and I'll go over everything with you guys, got it up here. If you look at all their long shots for the Lions to move from that number 3 spot,
right, and it probably won't happen, but I'm still buying my lottery ticket.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you buy the Powerball?
No, someone in Grand Blanc did.
Well, I didn't
say. Maybe it was Linda from Grand Blanc.
No. It was someone won. I said, do you buy a Powerball?
I don't. My family does. Okay. And we do, everyone puts in $10. I don't buy lottery tickets. I just think, I always tell my family, I'd rather wipe my you-know-what with it, with my $10 bill, than just give it to the lottery guy. I just think it's a waste of money. And I know you got to win, got to be in it to win it. Right. At most, I will buy 1 ticket. At most.
That's still buying the ticket, though.
It is. But
plus you're helping the schools.
I know. Oh, yeah, sure.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie. That is a big lie. Did they say who it is yet in Grand Blanc?
I did not hear it was a Grand Blancian.
Yes.
Big White.
But that's
Remember
all
Linda
I know.
from Grand Blanc?
I remember her.
Big
She was a
White.
caller that would call all the sports shows back in the
she
day.
kind of talked like
Hello,
this.
Linda from Grand Blanc. Tom.
Hi, Mans. I love you.
That's right. Those were good old days, man. So I'm hoping Linda won it. That would be nice. Anyway, back to the Lions. Full speed ahead against the Vikings. Vikings still have an outside chance to make the playoffs, a very outside chance to make the playoffs. But here's the main scenario for the Lions. If the Lions beat the Vikings and the Packers beat the Bears, those are the 1 o'clocks.
Okay.
At 4 o'clock, if the Rams somehow trip up and lose to the 49ers, who already clinched the number 1 spot, if they
That's
lose,
still possible, though.
it's still possible. So if the Rams lose and the Packers win, the Lions would play the Packers.
Is that what you want to see?
Now, Thanksgiving wasn't very good. Was not a fun game for me. But I would like another crack at the Pack. To say I'm a little bit worried about the Rams, I am. But I do like my Lions. I like them. I feel comfortable with them. And I say whatever happens, happens. But if you're giving me a choice, I'd rather play Green Bay than the Rams.
Okay, I'd rather play the Rams. Here's why. I love chaos. I want Kelly Stafford at Ford Field. I want somebody throwing a soda on her and she bitching about it on a podcast a day later. I want people booing Matthew Stafford. I want people cheering Matthew Stafford. I want to see the Detroit Ram T-shirts. I want to see people debate about it's ridiculous to root for this guy, and then others screaming, how can you root against him? He tried to help us win. I want the chaos. That's why I want the Lions to play the Rams.
If they do play the Rams, and I think they will, I could see that as the Saturday night playoff game. The standalone Saturday night playoff game. Now, I think NBC has it, but God forbid, if that's the Peacock game, I do not want that at all, because Peacock is getting the game. Yeah. Do you want to tune in to watch the Lions and the Rams on Peacock?
I do not. But won't we get it locally? Won't?
That's true. We'd probably be on Channel 4 on DIV.
Okay.
Probably be on Channel 4.
So they can put it on Peacock for all that, as long as I get what I want.
There you go. Good point. Good point. So we'll see. That's a lot of bridges to cross by then. Lions right now, they opened as a 4.5-point favorite Sunday. It's down to 3. There are a lot of spreads, guys, in this upcoming week, Week 18, that will knock your socks off. Like you would never believe. Who's favored? I'm going to ask you a question. Who's favored between the Ravens and the Steelers? Ravens are home.
Probably the Steelers.
The Steelers are favored.
Yeah, the Ravens aren't going to play anybody.
The Ravens are not going to play anybody. So the Steelers are a 3.5-point favorite at Baltimore.
You know what? Speaking of throwing your money away, to bet on teams in Week 18 and to bet on non-playoff bowl games in college,
oh God,
you're throwing your money away.
The bowl games were horrible.
Right.
They were
you don't
horrible.
know who's going to play. You don't know who's going to want to play, even if they are playing. There's just all this crap. Georgia and Florida State has ruined college football.
What did you think about that game? I didn't get a chance to talk to the guys here. Just my first day back from vacation. But Georgia went out and they made a statement against the Florida State team that basically had half their team only.
Right.
But Georgia laid on 63 points on them. Probably could have put up 90 if they really wanted to.
I think that was a statement where Florida State was like, they feel like they got screwed by the committee, which they may or may not have done. So they just like, hey.
But wouldn't you have showed
up
up more?
The white flag. Nah, I would have. I would have said, hey, we're beating Georgia. We're going to show we belong in there. But obviously, 27 or 30 of their players didn't believe that.
Man.
But, it's the new society. We want to fight to the end. But I think a lot of times the new society, if there's adversity, they're like, screw it, we done.
You're right about that.
So we can't win anyway. So let's not show that we belong.
And
I would do everything in my power to show that I belonged in that Final Four.
This will never happen again. We won't see games like this again because next year starts the playoff. I'm looking forward to it.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Right. And who cares if Boise State tanks next year?
Agreed. You know, today's the 17-year anniversary of that Boise State upset of Oklahoma. Remember that hook and ladder,
I remember
the
that.
Statue of Liberty, and then what's his name? I forgot his name. but he proposed to his cheerleading girlfriend.
Yes.
They're together. 17 years later, they're still together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
I saw that game in an airport. I went to a wedding, and you shouldn't have weddings during college football season, but I went anyway. And I was going to visit my friends in Kansas City. So I had to stop over in Dallas, and so I saw it there in Dallas at the airport.
Man. You know what I thought of you a few days ago when the Sun Bowl was played?
Oh,
it
yes.
was, I think it was the 30th of December, and I'm in Jersey. I see the Sun Bowl is on, and I'm like, the first thing I think about now is you and your Sun Bowl story.
Yes.
Would you like to go over your Sun Bowl story again?
Yes. Well, first of all, it's not the Sun Bowl. It's the Cheez-It Sun Bowl.
It's the Cheez-It Sun Bowl. You sure about that?
That's what it says.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the Cheez-It Sun Bowl.
I'm going to get my Cheez-It
You should get
diamond
your
and
placard.
gold medallion.
You should get your placard.
No, we were covering the Sun Bowl.
Guys, if you haven't heard the
this.
story, pay attention to this one.
And the Sun Bowl wanted to make sure that the media was taken care of.
They were.
And we were. And so I used the wrong terminology. I said that they provided us with escorts. They said, no, it wasn't an escort, female escort. It was an ambassador. So however you want to do it. But anyway, we went out. I went out with my ambassador or escort, whatever you want to call her. And she's a tall girl, blonde. She's young, pretty. And so we went to Juarez. The only problem is she smelled bad.
Oh, really?
Not stinky bad, but she had this cologne.
Oh, it's too much perfume.
Yeah, but it was the wrong kind. It was like that $5 perfume that you buy by the jug. And she put the whole jug on it. So I'm hanging out with this chick, and we go to Horace, and we get stanky drunk. And one of the things, we go back to the room, and we're getting a little romantic.
Of course.
But I couldn't stand the smell. I said, I can't do anything with this smell. So I called Boudini, who's on the trip. I said,
we love you, Drew.
Boudini. No, he gave me the best advice in the whole world.
Did he cackle?
Yeah, he said. But he was with his escort.
Oh yeah.
So he didn't have much time. But I said, look, I'm with this girl. She's kind of cute. I think we're kind of feeling each other. I said, but she smells bad. And he said, oh, I got the solution for you. Just take a shower with her.
Beautiful.
I took the shower and the smell was gone.
Drew Sharp, always on top of things.
Yes.
The late, great Drew Sharp.
Right, and then he started singing The Big Ten Sucks.
You know what? What would he say today? What would Drew Sharp say today?
Boudini would make some cockamamie. Oh, I know what he would say. Alabama, which says not Alabama. That's the only way that Michigan could beat them. Is that Alabama's a mortal team now.
Yeah.
And
so he wouldn't give Michigan credit.
Very little.
Very little.
He would say 85% of the reason Michigan won was because Alabama wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then he would give Michigan just a little sliver of credit, but not much.
That's cool, man. Great story. And what did they tell everybody what they served you at the Sun Bowl?
They served us McDonald's. And when we
Piles
went to
of it.
Yeah, when we went to the media, there's this media room in this really shitty hotel in downtown El Paso. There was imagine a stack of 50 Big Macs here, like 40 or 50 fries over here, and then the other thing they had were the quarter pounders. And there's 50 quarter pounders over there. So there's this big.
But they're all cold.
And they're all cold.
Yeah.
Right. And you can see the what's the grease turn into when it gets cold?
Like lard.
Yeah, it's like lard.
Yeah.
You can see the lard in the hamburgers, but we ate them anyway.
There you go. Hey, more stories with Terry, and I'm definitely talking
Hey,
Lions.
Tommy.
Yeah, Pete.
El Paso. I spent a month there one night.
That's good. That's a Seinfeld reference, fellas.
Did you go to Horace?
No, that's Seinfeld reference, Terry.
Oh, okay.
Spent a month
I
there
didn't
one
watch
day.
Seinfeld. My apologies.
That's a shame. Anyway, we got plenty more coming up. I got Lions up the yin yang for you. I got some great stuff from Kelly Stafford. You spoke with Kelly Stafford? Well, you wouldn't believe what Matthew Stafford, watching this Lions game on Saturday, just like all of us, how his reaction was, how Glover Quinn's reaction was. We got all of that and a whole lot more. But first, let's tell you about Woodward Sports merchandise, Pete.
Do I have to?
You have to.
Then I might as well. Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com and click shop.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 and make your home buying dreams come true. And now back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
T. Foss, that's right. Welcome
He was
back,
so professional.
Folks. He is. Isn't Pete good?
Sneaky Pete.
That's that old 1270 day.
You know what Mike O'Hara always said about Pete? He needs a tongue-ectomy.
Okay.
Just something to silence him and his big mouth.
He's a frisky little guy.
He is. That's why we call him Prickly Pete. Anyway, welcome back to the show, Woodward Sports. Tom Mazaway alongside Terry Foster. JB in the house. JB, I haven't seen you since you were like 16 years old. Welcome back to the show.
I know, you haven't seen me since I was like not sick, I guess
know.
you could say. But
So
yeah,
good to have you.
I know. It's
So
so
good
good
to
to
have
be
you.
back too, you guys.
Pete, I guess it's good to have you as well.
Thanks.
Hey, have you guys driven around on, I'm not sure where these billboards are. Hey guys, tell me in the chat where you've seen this particular billboard. And I don't even know who paid for these, but the Decker reported, and then there's like an 11-5 scratched out and a 12-4 put next to it. That is all the rage right now across the NFL. I mean, everybody's got this. Everyone's putting it out there. Us Detroit fans, we take this stuff seriously, Ter.
Well, it's good that the rest of the nation is taking part in this too.
Yeah.
Because that was a egregious, ridiculous thing, and everybody saw different things with the play. The one thing everybody saw was Taylor Decker speaking to the referee.
Correct. And swiping his number.
And
like
swiping his number, right. But the other thing I saw was the referee was not looking at
No,
Taylor Decker.
he
He was
ran
looking
right.
at Skipper
running in.
Skipper.
skipping in.
Yep.
Right. So he didn't even look at Taylor Decker. So Taylor Decker could have been swiping and doing whatever he wanted, and he wouldn't have even
It was
seen
a design play to like distract the Cowboys. And I'm going to play you something that the NFL put out this morning. Basically to tell us, hey, this is the real way to do things. But before I play that, when Decker did come in and Skipper did come in, if you listen to the radio broadcast, at least the Dallas Cowboy broadcast put it out, you hear the referee, Brad Allen, putting on his mic like we used to hear on TV. Right. Number 70 is an eligible receiver. That's what he said. You heard him. So right away, he got the wrong guy. So this is what I said. If Dan Campbell and his staff heard that, and somebody had to hear it in the stadium.
bet you they didn't hear it.
No, he said it was loud. It was in the state. Someone heard it, Terry. But the problem is they had no timeouts. So if he had a timeout, they call a timeout and they tell the ref, hey, you called the wrong guy in. Remember, I showed you the paper? I showed you the paper in the beginning of the day. We wrote it all out for you. We handed it to you guys. We told you, this is what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do on the fake punt. Here's what we're going to do on a 2-point conversion. But because he had no timeouts, you run the play, and it's an illegal formation. Everything was illegal about it. Taylor Decker was not eligible to catch the ball, and Dan Skipper was not eligible to be in his tackle position because he claimed he was eligible. If you're eligible, you have to be at the end of the line. And Decker was at the end of the line. Skipper was covered up by the tight end.
Right.
So somebody with the Lions had to hear that, but they could do nothing about it because they had no timeouts left.
They would have to take a 5-yard penalty.
Yep.
And even if they decided they're going to kick the extra point would be from the 40 rather than the 35.
Correct. They would have had to go again for 2 from the 8-yard line because it's
Right.
on the 2.5, so it'd be on the 7.
So no matter what happened on that play, one of the teams is going to get screwed.
Correct.
The Cowboys or the Lions.
So the Lions went with the play and maybe thought maybe they won't throw a flag. That's the only thing I could think of.
Fat chance.
And he threw the flag. 2 plays later, James Mitchell couldn't catch the low pass. Goff was rushed. They had the play, but Ben Johnson had to come up with 3 different 2-point plays. They had to shoot the onions on that. And I was in New Jersey watching this game. I had my family around me. They're all screaming, "You got to kick now! You got to kick! Got to kick!" I'm like, he ain't kicking. He's going for the win. And you know why he's not kicking, Terry? Because the Seattle game still haunts him. The Seattle game, game 2 of the season, when they played it safe instead of going for the kill when they had Seattle on the run. Mm-hmm. They play it safe. They kick the field goal, and they don't see the ball again in overtime.
Now, maybe not for the Dallas game, but for many of the games, Dan Campbell, when he says he does goofy things at the end, it's because he has faith in his offense.
Correct, and I do too.
Disagree with him.
Okay.
I think, I disagree with what he says. I think a lot of it has to do is he didn't have faith in that defense.
Right. But they played well Saturday.
I said
really
outside of the Dallas game.
Yeah.
I think that's what his mindset was. But I think, you have to think about this. Do you have a better shot at winning if you have the ball at the 2-yard line and you need to convert a touchdown? Or do you have a better shot of waiting for the coin flip, which is a 50-50 flip, and can you stop the other team from scoring if it doesn't fall your way? So I think his philosophy is, we're at the 2, we can run a play, score, walk out of here and win.
And don't forget, Dallas had 23 seconds and 1 timeout left. Had they scored,
they wouldn't have.
What do you mean?
They were not going to kick a long field goal and win.
You don't think so?
No.
They would have had the ball at the 30 or the 25.
25.
So if they go 40 yards, Brandon Aubrey, right? I'm just saying.
But I see. Last year it would have worked because the Lions would have played that prevent defense, the same one they played against the Baltimore Ravens, and they got burned by a 60-yard field goal. I think Dan Campbell has learned his lesson. They would have put heat on Dak Prescott, and he would have had to maybe hit a 10, 15-yard pass and call the timeout, and then maybe hit another 10 to 15-yard pass or been an incompletion. I think the Lions were in total control of this because they would have a new philosophy. They've learned their lesson.
Yeah.
Don't rush 3 and hope and pray that they don't find CeeDee Lamb. But if you put pressure on Zach, you got a much, much, much better chance.
Not only that, the Dallas Cowboys basically gifted them that last drive because they did not attack Jared Goff. They played back 3 plays, 2 to Laporta, 1 to St. Brown, and they were inside the 20-yard line already. It was like taking candy from a baby when the Lions really didn't move the ball all game long. So Dallas gifted them that, and that's a Mike McCarthy thing. People are saying Mike McCarthy does not know how to close games out, and he will be the death of the Cowboys before you know it.
And he does not. Before that, they could have milked more clock
Correct.
before giving the ball to the Lions.
Troy Aikman was dying. I watched the game last night again. Troy Aikman's like, if Dallas played their cards right, Detroit doesn't even have the ball at the end of this game.
Right.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Same thing with the Washington Huskies. They almost blew that game to Texas. They almost blew that game. And I don't mean to jump around, but you guys remember that, man. I literally left the room with about 30 seconds to go, and Washington had the ball. I'm like, well, this is over. They're just going to kneel down. I went to the men's room. I had my phone with me. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing all these tweets.
Right.
They're going to blow this game. I hurried up. I got the hell out of there. I went back to the
You know
TV.
what I don't understand? I don't understand how you get a guy, and he's got all of his assistants around him.
Yeah.
How they can
Let him do that.
Yeah, do poor clock management, and some schlep who's like a mag tag repairman, he can say, no, you got a milk clock that he knows to do that,
I know.
but not the guy on
That's
the
us.
sideline.
Yeah,
right.
we're the Maytag repairman.
Yeah, and we're saying, no, bro, you got a milk clock.
Back to the Lions game, guys. As I told you this morning, the NFL put out a memo with a video. Terry, this is like going to school now, all right? You haven't seen this, have you?
I have not seen it.
Okay, you are now in class. The NFL is now teaching us how to check into a game if you're an offensive lineman.
As a reminder to clubs and players, an offensive player numbered 50 through 79 or 90 through 99 is permitted to line up as an eligible pass receiver. To allow the defense an opportunity to match personnel to avoid deception and to ensure fairness, the player must immediately report the change in his eligibility status to the referee, who will inform the defensive team and will make an announcement to the stadium before that play. It is the responsibility of the player to be sure that change in status is clearly communicated to the referee by both a physical signal with his hands up and down in front of his chest, and to report to the referee his intention to report as an eligible receiver. Any player reporting as eligible must line up initially and remain in an eligible position. Failure to do so, or if he is covered up by another player, will result in an illegal formation. Should the reporting player elect to remain in the game for an additional play, he must repeat the same reporting process to the referee, and before each additional play, the referee will inform the defensive team. This process has been in place for many years and is intended to provide proper notification to the defense when players are lined up in positions that their number would not allow.
Terry?
Bro, this is like one of
Did
those.
you learn anything?
I did.
Okay.
Bro, this is like one of those black and white videos they used to show us when we were in elementary school.
This is the 2024
Right.
NFL. And that's what we just watched.
Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, there a little thing would go bing.
Yeah.
And then you go on to the next bing.
Please stop tape.
Right.
That's disgusting. They're doing all of this because of how Brad Allen and his staff effed up on Saturday night against the Cowboys.
Notice one thing you haven't noticed. You haven't noticed the NFL say, hey, we screwed up.
No,
You don't see that, do
They're
you?
putting this out. You know what else they put out? They put out a video of Saturday night that said the Lions should have been flagged for a tripping, not the Cowboys. So they're just picking a play out of anywhere now to say, okay, well, if we screwed that up, well, we gave the Lions a break on this play. They are going out of their way to make their guys look good.
I didn't hear this back in 2014 when Pettigrew
Can't wait. Can't wait to talk about that.
Right. When he got interfered with. Oh, no,
Yeah.
he didn't.
That was unbelievable. And and that's a game I'll never, ever, ever forget. Ever. And I know got a lot of games up here. And that's one I'll never forget. We're going to tell you about that game and about the Lion players, former Lion players, that have spoke out about that play. But first, we get a timeout and send it over to JB.
Yep, and let me tell you about Planet Fitness, because Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get this all just for $10 a month with no commitment. Remember, no matter where you are, there is always a Planet Fitness nearby, with more than 50 locations in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. Find your local Planet Fitness today to join, or visit them online at planetfitness.com.
at work, and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White and Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey gang, give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply, hands down Michigan's best pet store. The same prices of all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference: family and locally owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, 60 brands of food, and of course they've got same-day local curbside delivery if you need it. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. Check them out online at premierpetsupply.com. We are back. Woodward Sports, Ermanni Edwards and Maz and T. Foss.
Can I say something
today.
about Premier Pets real
Please.
quick? Poopsie the bird. Now, how old Poopsie is?
No.
32.
Poopsie the bird's 32?
Poopsie's 32.
What kind of bird is Poopsie?
A cockatiel.
Oh,
And you know where Poopsie gets her food from?
Premier,
right.
Nice.
So they must be selling the good stuff.
Do they deliver it to you, or do you guys go pick it up?
No, we go. I like going in there, and because usually when you go in, there's like a dog or a cat
Yeah.
in there with, you know.
Do you
stuff.
bring your bird in?
Huh?
Do you bring Poopsie in with
No,
you?
I've never. I think Poopsie would just fly away.
Poopsie would fly away?
Right.
What about
And I don't
Fredo?
want to put a chain on Poopsie.
What was that,
What
Pete?
about Fredo?
Fredo? Poor Fredo. Hey, by the way, Poopsie, 30 years old. How old is that in bird years?
I don't know, but they say that cockatiels can live up to 25 or 26 years.
Ooh.
Oh.
Poopsie's on borrowed time, you telling me?
Yes.
Okay.
Still going strong.
Okay, hey, well,
Can't
knock
fly,
wood.
but still doing well.
Knock wood.
Yeah, I think it's the food.
It is. Premier Pet Supply. We
Yes.
got the Premier Pet Supply player of the game coming up a little bit later. But first, I promised you this. Hey, I got some update for you, first of all. The Rams and the 49ers this weekend. Guess what? Matthew Stafford's getting a rest. The Rams are starting Carson Wentz, his first start in a calendar year since last year when he got cut by the Colts. So Carson Wentz will start for the LA Rams against the 49ers. A Rams win, then they go to Detroit no matter what. If they lose to the 49ers and the Packers beat the Bears, which is no easy task these days, the Packers would get a Thanksgiving Day rematch at Ford Field. What do you think of that?
I love it. I like, you know, maybe it's because I'm old school, I'm old and crusty. I love when the NFC North plays each other.
Me too. I love my division, and I'm calling it my division.
Okay, it's my division too, because
Yeah.
I like to see the Vikings against the Bears. And
That Packers-Viking game I thought would have been great on Sunday night.
yeah,
I don't know what the hell happened. I know what
There's
happened. The Vikings
clunkers.
just ran out of quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I
they're
would have
on
started Nick Mullins myself, but they started, I think Jaron Hall, is that his name? But didn't
Yeah.
work out. Anyway,
but Mullins, you know, in the NFL, you can't turn the ball over.
I know.
And
but he
Mullins
also-
is exciting.
Yeah.
It's a cute story, but you turn that rock over, you're done.
Yeah. Anyway, I did want to bring up Matthew Stafford's name because on Saturday, just like us, football players, NFL players, they watch the games. We were the only game on TV that day. I'm going to say we.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay? The Lions and the Cowboys were the only game on television. So the whole NFL is watching it. They want to see what the heck's going to happen. Will Dallas win their 16th straight home game, or will the Lions start to put it together and knock out the Cowboys and knock them right out of the NFC East title race and give it to the Eagles? Well, Kelly Stafford, as you know, does a podcast with Hank Winchester. It's called the Morning After Podcast. Listen to Kelly Stafford talk about Matthew Stafford watching this game.
Do you know that when I spoke to Matthew, his response was, "Holy shit, it happened again." Like,
because everybody
fucked.
flashbacks to Dallas and Matthew in that playoff game.
It doesn't even matter if it's in Dallas. There's always rules made up after something happens with the Lions. Like, this is how it all plays out. Whether this is the NFL script or not, where they're wanting the Rams to come to the Lions and they're making that happen somehow, which I know people laugh at the script. I'm kind of a believer in the script.
It's a script.
So
Matthew, who knows football better than anybody, believes that this was not only a bad call, but a deliberately bad. I'm not going to put those words in his mouth. But watching it, not deliberately, but watching it, he said, holy shit, Detroit got screwed.
Yes. And here's my thing. People make mistakes, okay? That's I don't know if it's an easy mistake.
Kelly Stafford, Hank Winchester, Kelly talking about her hubby and great father, Matthew Stafford, watching the game saying, they did it to us again. And that was my quote on Twitter on Saturday night. I just said it. Look what they did. They did it to us again. And they did it in Dallas to us again, Terry.
Right. And there's going to be rule changes. I already got a video out.
Yep.
I already got that.
Got that. We'll get an apology eventually.
I don't think they're going to apologize.
Well, if we don't, it don't matter anyway. Because what are you going to do with
it? Maybe it'll come at the owners' meeting in July or something like that.
Well, Dan Campbell, he ripped up that paper the other day and put his gum in it and threw it out. That's what he would do with the letter anyway. I heard Sheila Hamp was going to meet with the NFL. I have not confirmed that, but I heard that she was going to have a meeting with the NFL. I don't know what would come out of that, but let me tell you something, man. It really does. And on 2014, I used to do a show with Herman Moore. Did a post game with him. And I screamed it that day. I was so mad. And to this day, I'm mad. And I said, that's a fix. That's a fix. Mm-hmm. That game is a effing fix.
And Herman couldn't say anything.
No, he couldn't. But damn well, I'm telling you, man. And then when you see what this happened now, it just makes you want to double down on that. But that 2014 hurts more than this game. That 2014, we lost, we were out. And we had another 3 minutes to win that game anyway. We didn't do it. But that was a complete, utter robbery. And Ndamukong Suh, after the game, went to the podium, cried at the podium, knew he was not going to play for the Lions anymore. And that was really the end of the Lions as we knew it back then, because that defense was ferocious back then. That team had a chance to go to play in the Super Bowl.
I never believed the Lions had a chance to go to a Super Bowl until this year.
You don't think that 2014 team was that good?
No.
They would have played the Packers the following week.
And would have lost.
Why?
Because that's what they do. That was the same old Lions stuff.
Jim Caldwell coached the hell out of that team. The only thing I didn't like about Caldwell was I would have ran on the effing field that day and tackled that referee. Just like, what's his name? Des Bryant came off the freaking sideline. He's an offensive player. He didn't even get penalized.
No.
That game was a dump game. That was a dump game. That was a fix.
I had talked to someone in the front office, and at the time, the theory was, why don't the Fords go screaming and kicking and telling the NFL, we're tired of this shit. But I was told this, well, that's not what the Fords do. That's not what the Lions do. We just take it and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that Sheila Hamp needs to, blow torch at NFL, but she needs to have a strong meeting, enough. And then I think she should come out in the media and say, I told the commissioner, we're not putting up with this stuff anymore.
Correct.
Because, if I spit in your face and you don't do anything, you know what I'm thinking about you?
I'm a wuss.
You're a pussy.
Yeah, you'll do it again.
Yeah.
We'll just keep doing it. And they keep doing it.
So I think at some point the Lions do need to say, okay, we're tired of this shit. Stop it.
This is enough.
Right.
This is Matthew Stafford, his wife Kelly, who spent a lot of years here. Loved that family. And Kelly's even saying, man, everyone laughs about the script. They put commercials out about the script. Remember early in the year? Right. Oh, this is scripted. They just went with it. And she's even calling it. And I know she speaks out of turn. I know Matthew wouldn't want her saying that. But I'm with her. I'm one of her. I'm a fan. Not only do I do a show, and I've been doing one for 27 years, I still have the fandom in me. I remember when Paul Chapman took me into my first game. Paul Chapman of WJR took me into my first game. It was the Nets and the Pistons. And I'm sitting there behind the Piston bench, and I'm like giddy as a kid, rooting. And he had to tap me. Tommy, you can't cheer anymore. You're not allowed to cheer anymore. So a lot of times when I go to these events, I'll kind of like disappear a little so I could be my own thing. I'll put my credential away a little and do my thing, and then put it back and go do my
brother, this is must be going on for decades, because as you know, back in the day when I was a kid, I worked at the Lindale AC.
Yep.
And Jimmy Butcher Karras, who knew a lot about what was going on in the NFL, and maybe some stuff was a little bit shaky.
You think numbers are running out of there?
No.
Okay.
He never said he was going to Lions practice. He said he was going to the Lions rehearsal.
My dad has been telling me it's a Broadway show since I was a kid. A Broadway show.
No, but this stuff is WWE. This is the bad guy getting his ass kicked, and then somebody gets some brass knuckles and punches the good guy in the face and knocks him out. The Lions got punched in the face with brass knuckles.
At least our coach ran out there, and you can read his lips. I told you about this play. And I never knew this, that they had meetings with the refs at the beginning of the game, and on an easel or a piece of paper, they draw out the play and say, this is what we're going to do on this situation, this is what we're going to do in this situation. And he said, and I believe him, and Decker's not going to lie to the media. He's coming out saying, I reported to him. I told him I am in. I am eligible. And now Skipper came in late. He didn't say anything, but he kind of looked like he was checking in. We all know that. You're allowed to deceive the other team. That's what playing sports is about.
Sure. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. What are you going to say? You can't have a zone defense? I'm going to switch guys? Oh, hey, I'm guarding LeBron. But you know what, Terry? With 2 minutes left, you're going to guard LeBron.
Right.
It's the same crap.
Mm-hmm. But the referee, see, I know there's conspiracy theories in Detroit. People saying, well, the NFL did it deliberately. They screwed the Lions deliberately. In this case, I don't think that's the case. Other times, I think it was the case. But this one, the referee's looking dead at Skipper, and while Decker's talking to him,
he ran away.
I don't think. Yeah, I got to get to the line of scrimmage as fast as I can. So he didn't even.
He told the Cowboys, hey, 70's in, and then he put his mic on and told the stadium, number 70 is checked in, he's eligible receiver. Usually we hear that on the broadcast. We did not hear it this time. We heard nothing. Nothing. But they heard it, Terry, but they could do nothing about it because they had no timeouts. I'm with you. I would have taken a delay of game penalty, and I would have gotten things straight, because I still think that play would have worked.
But you notice they didn't call that. There was technically 2 penalties on that play. Skipper lined up in a illegal position.
Correct.
They didn't call that.
No.
They called it illegal touching. And I think the referee lied.
Good point. You know what? Because if there were more than one penalty, he would say, there are 3 penalties all on the offense. And he would go all over.
Multiple penalties.
Correct. You're right.
Both
and he
on
only
the
called
offense.
one. You're right. I didn't even think of that.
But I think what happened was he knows Skipper didn't tell him that, but he'd already committed to it because he screwed up. But then he had to lie. He couldn't admit that he made a mistake, so he had to lie to the Cowboys. He had to lie to us. He had to lie to the pool reporter. And by not saying anything now, in a way, he's sort of lying again.
And the NFL, I mean, if you remember, Jim Joyce obviously ruined Armando Galarraga's perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was never the same. He basically retired a year later. He cried. Came out the next day, apologized. Do you remember? And
Yes.
Galarraga came out and handed the card to him, and they gave Galarraga, I think it was a Corvette. A Corvette at the time. Jim Joyce, we don't hate Jim Joyce here. He ruined a great thing for us.
Well,
Anyone that was at that game.
speak for yourself. There's a lot of people still hate him.
If you were at that game, you probably still hate him because you would have had a perfect game. And Armando Galarraga, it'll always be shown every year. You got to say that. The imperfect, perfect game is always shown every year to the year on that date. But at least Jim Joyce recognized his mistake. And you remember, I don't know if you heard, Rex Ryan on the weekend on NFL Countdown. I love Rex Ryan. And he just said, hey, Brad Allen, get some balls and admit you were wrong. and tell us and apologize and say you were wrong. Be a man, he says. Stop blaming the players. Be a man and take responsibility, Brad Allen. After this break, we got some more. I got Glover Quinn. Wait till you hear what the old lion Glover Quinn said about this. And a lot more, too. And St. Brown, the Saints, they sat down with Aiden Hutchinson. We'll tell you about that coming up next. But first, we send it over to Hamlin Pub and Pete.
Hey guys, if you ever wanted a pub where you're a regular, we have just the place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone's a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on a Thursday, that would be tomorrow, or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com and click shop. And now back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and T-Foss.
All right, Pete. Thanks, guys. Welcome back to Woodward Sports, guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat chipping in. Hey, the chat still loves Jim Joyce. They hate Brad Allen now. Brad Allen is public enemy #1 here in Detroit. And guess what his punishment was, Terry? Brad Allen and his crew. Guess what their punishment was?
His punishment is to do the Steelers-Ravens game.
Yes, on national television.
Yes.
How about that?
But
that's a lot of horse
They're
crap.
not going to do.
I hope they don't
games.
do the playoffs.
I
believe it when I see it.
Okay.
I'll believe it when I see it. Do you think they do the playoffs?
No.
Okay, then I'm okay. Let them do this and get the hell out of here.
And you know what would be hilarious if they gave him a playoff game.
Oh no.
At Ford's Field.
Oh no. He would not make it in and out alive.
He wouldn't. Yeah, the tunnel.
He would not. It would be all over, guys. In case you missed it earlier today, Bruce Irvin. Number 51, love that guy. He was released. It was a mutual parting of the ways. He didn't want to be inactive anymore. He wants to go out. Maybe he catches on with another team. I hope not this year, though. Bruce Irvin is gone. Jason Kabinda is going to stay. I guess nobody loves Kabinda more than the Lions. Every time they put Kabinda on waivers, he comes back to the practice squad. They keep him, and they cut somebody else. Isaiah Buggs yesterday. J-Mo did not practice today. Not sure if he's going to play, guys. But tomorrow's probably the big day to see if he does practice. I don't think he's going to do much of anything. I'd sit Jamison Williams out, tweaked his ankle. But he's starting to come into his own, I think, Terry, little by little. I don't know what's taking so long, but I'm hoping they can unwrap the package soon.
He wasn't part, excuse me. Let me get this right.
Yeah.
He was not part.
I'll talk while you drink and cough. Anyway, Jamison Williams tweaked his ankle on, I think that was almost a 50-yard pass, if I'm not mistaken. That was Jared Goff's best pass of the night, and we can't have anything nice here in Detroit. Instead of him going for the touchdown, he gets tackled, and he falls basically His ankle twist, you see it. He goes down. You see him work it out on the sidelines, did not come back in the game, and now he's going to be day-to-day. He's out today, as a matter of fact. But going back to J-Mo, little by little, Terry, we're starting to see what his talents are.
He's part of the brotherhood now. And he was not part of the brotherhood. They didn't have faith in him. You know, they kept saying, well, he's got to be in the right spot, the right time. He's got to know everything. But they started to get faith in him. They started to trust him. And little by little, he's doing things to help this team. Now, the play that that long play you're talking about, I've been talking about that play every time on our little Woodward and Main Street Lions show.
Love the Woodward and Main show with Gabby, you, and Broder.
Right. Just fly. Just have them go.
Yep.
And that's what they did.
Take the training wheels off. Let them rip.
Lo and behold, it worked.
Hey, well, you got your voice back. I'm going to play this little bit of sound for you. It's from Glover Quinn. Got a podcast. Glover Quinn, one of my faves, former Lion, former Seahawk. I'm not sure if he's still with the Seahawks or not. Nonetheless, Glover Quinn had this to say about the Lions getting jobbed in Dallas again.
And see, I'm a little frustrated. I done watched all of the post-game stuff that they done had on TV. And this is the one thing that's kind of standing out to me. I get tired of the person that's considered the lower on the totem pole always having to take the high road. Why? Why does Detroit always have to just accept everything? Why? Why is it that you can just do something like that? Whether it was right, wrong, it doesn't matter. But just the verbiage that I'm hearing, that Detroit's supposed to just be okay with that. Right is right, wrong is wrong. It ain't no, we just happy to be here, be okay. No. That is not how this thing's supposed to work. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm tired of it was always like that, even when I played. Take the high road, bump the high road.
Over Quinn, and just what you said, Terry.
You know,
F the high road.
Right. You know what that video tells me? Grover Cline is still a Lion.
Yeah.
That he didn't leave here because he hated the organization.
No.
He couldn't stand Matt Patricia.
Yeah, Quinn Trisha.
That's why.
Just like they did Darius Slayton.
Right.
Those guys still got Lion blood. They do.
Right.
Nate Burleson still got Lions blood. That I'm just telling you, man. When ex-players talk about this, it's just not us slappies, as you call us. It's
and
not.
You are slappies, but
you always say that we always think people are against us. They are. The freaking league is against us. I don't know why. Now, you remember years ago when they wanted to take the Thanksgiving Day game away?
Yeah.
What was the rumor? Mr. Ford had to say, all right, well, then we're going to take the Ford commercials away from the NFL.
And they're like, that's okay.
Okay, yeah, keep your 12:30 game. That's okay.
But I understand back then why the Lions got screwed, because the Lions were not a real organization. The Lions used to, allow getting pimp slapped. The Lions were irrelevant. But now this year, for 1 year, the NFL is saying, you know what, Lions? We love you. We want you on our national TV telecast. We want you in our big games. We like the fact that you're relevant in the league for the first time. So this one surprises me because the league finally say, you know what, bro? We like you. You're one of us now.
So why'd they come up with that piece of crap tape today that they put out saying from my fifth grade teacher, Mr. Koch, sounded like he voiced that spot, and telling us what legal plays, how it is, how do you bring a legal offensive lineman in?
The reason you got this is because they know Lion fans bitch, and they want to try to nip it in the butt. But yeah, you're right, but they want to nip it in the butt. But you know what? It's like the little boy that cries wolf. You bitch about everything, and so when it's legit, people look at you like, okay, this is what you do.
Okay, so you just heard Matthew Stafford, his wife at least, and you heard Glover Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
you're now going to hear Aiden Hutchinson, who came up with 5 tackles, 3 sacks, and he looks like he is finally figuring it out. He used and abused that Dallas Cowboy vaunted offensive line.
He did.
On Saturday night. Here he is with the St. Brown brothers today.
No, that's tough though. But I really do believe that this is like some destiny stuff, you know, because when I was a senior at Michigan, we lost to Michigan State. We were undefeated. It was like a top 10 matchup. We lost to Michigan State, and it was kind of one of those, you know, one of those bullshitty games where it kind of gets away from you. And I
watched that game. That's when Kenneth Walker went crazy.
He went crazy, and I scored a touchdown on us. The other DN got the strip sack, and that would have made it like a 3 or 4 possession game. And they overturned it, and then after that momentum, it kind of snowballed. But that was one of those things that I think if that game hadn't happened, that wouldn't have propelled us the rest of the season, even beating Ohio State, like winning the Big Ten championship that year. Like, I don't think any of that would have happened. So that's why I kind of like correlate that with this, because this is one of those things where it's like, it was a stupid call. It is what it is. But like, I think this is only going to motivate us. And especially, you know, as we move into the playoffs and, you know, if we advance and we play Dallas again at their place, I just feel like, you know, we have there's so much confidence knowing that, you know, we should have won that game. And I just want to run through a brick wall. That's what I'm saying. It's like a destiny thing though. It's like, God, I feel like this, I'm ready. It's just, it's written in the stars.
Actually propelled something I was thinking about for this show. This call can make or break somebody.
Blossom. Does
this make the Lions more fearsome, more pissed off, and more ready to go? Or does this finish them? Because there's always a play or something that happens where a team is like, we can't overcome this. Because now this team has got to win. If they want to reach the ultimate goal, they got to win 2 road playoff games. If they play Dallas again, it'll be in Dallas again. They play Philadelphia, it'll be in Philadelphia.
There is a way to get to the number 2.
I know, but
there is a way. Both Dallas and Philly have to lose.
I'm being realistic, brother.
Okay.
They're not going to get the number 2.
If Dallas loses to Washington, who they beat 42-10 on Thanksgiving, and if Philly loses to the Giants, and they're both home, Washington's home, Giants are home. I've seen wacky stuff happen. If those things happen and the Lions are already in the clubhouse with a win, they can watch those 2 4:00 games. And we'll have the post-game show on Sunday with Stick and Hanson and myself. We'll be here watching them. And if those two if you get a freak thing that happens, the Lions could get the number 2 spot. And last year, it was the opposite. We were all watching the Seahawks and Rams, and Baker Mayfield was taking the Rams down the field, threw a couple of bad plays. Seahawks get it. They get a big call on a late hit on their punter, which was a horrible call. And we all know Seattle gets in. Lions know they're eliminated. They still go to Green Bay, and they win. Here's the reason that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes don't bring in the players we want on free agency, a trade deadline, because they got their guys. They know these guys buy into what they're selling. So what Hutchinson said, this is going to make us even be more hungry. What St. Brown said, I want to run through a wall right now. Dan Campbell's got these guys ready to go. Hey guys, we got effed. Let's go show them. Let's go show them what we're made out of. Let's make Dallas come here. Week 2 of the playoffs. Let's go to Dallas and beat their ass and finish that game off, because we know we can play with that team. 2 times in a row they could have beat Dallas. Last year, Jamal Williams fumbles on the goal line. This year, they get it taken away, the 2-point conversion. The Lions know they could play with Dallas. And the one thing they got going for them, Mike McCarthy calling the plays on the other side. He will screw up the game.
Do you like silver linings, young
I
man?
love silver linings.
I'll give you one right now.
Go ahead.
I think even though the Lions technically lost this game, I think the Lions showed that they're going to be motherfuckers in the playoffs.
Yep.
Philadelphia, do you fear them?
No.
Not even San Francisco, who's the big dog. I mean, they're vulnerable.
San Fran's damn good.
They're damn good, but they're vulnerable. Dallas, are the Lions going to lose twice in a row to Dallas? I don't think so. And the team that you're afraid of, there's no way they're going to beat the Lions, and that's the LA Rams.
Yeah. I hope you're right.
With Kelly Stafford.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
Quarterback.
I hope you're right.
And they're going to sit Matthew and play her instead.
Well, Matthew is sitting, by the way, and Carson Wentz starts. For more on that and a whole lot more, we got Dan Miller coming up, the voice of the Lions, coming up next. But first, we'll send it over. I think it's JB. JB,
Yep.
Is this you?
Yep, it's me for Feldman. Let me tell you, because since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With more than 18 locations, there's always a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find a location nearest you. And don't forget to catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Co. has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the Steak Shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com.
Welcome back, guys. Woodward Sports in the house here on a, what is it, Wednesday? Hump Day Wednesday.
And I want to give you a little education.
All right, educate me.
Do you know where the meat came from at the Lindell AC?
I don't know.
Fairway Packing.
Are you kidding?
No, it did.
Wow.
Johnny Butchercaris created his own blend of meat, and they did it in there, and they reproduced it, and they made the Lindell burgers.
Did they have a burger named after you and Drew Sharp?
They did not.
They did not.
The Boudini burger.
Yeah.
Hey.
What would my burger be called?
That's a good point.
The T-bone?
The T-Faw something.
The T-bone?
Something or something.
Yeah.
Hey, without further ado, we go to the bat phone, and we got Dan Miller, the voice of the Lions, and, of course, the sports director of Fox 2 here in Detroit, our good friend Dan Miller. Dan, welcome to the show. Thanks again, my friend.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, Danny.
We're hanging in there.
Hey, we heard Dan Campbell earlier today saying he's playing his guys. If they're healthy, we're playing them. Nick Mullins, I heard, is starting for the Vikings. We saw him against us just a couple of weeks ago. The guy can throw. He could also throw interceptions, but I think that's their best chance to win. It looks like Jamison Williams not practicing today. Bruce Irvin let go. Isaiah Buggs yesterday. Dan, fill us in with the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, I think the Nick Mullins thing isn't surprising. I just don't think you go back to Jaron Allen again after he got pulled last week and, just give him some time. Let him have the offseason to figure it out. Nick Mullins has moved the ball for this team. Against Cincinnati, he put up some points. Against the Lions, he put up some points. So, yeah, he's a high-wire act. There's no doubt about that, but I would think that was the way Minnesota was going to go, and in the end, that is the way that they go. As far as the Lions are concerned, I think there's some things to keep an eye on here. Number one, they want to get C.J. Gardner-Johnson back in this defense. And with the other guys that have emerged on this defense, like Melifonwu, and trying to figure out how you're going to align these guys and keep Branch on the field as well, I think they probably need some snaps to figure things out. And you don't want to be figuring some things out in the first round of the playoffs. So I think watching how Aaron Glenn works in packages with these guys and who's on the field and who's off is going to be key, because this is their final dress rehearsal, if you will, before the playoffs. So I think that's something to keep an eye on there. And then overall, does that mean Dan Campbell's going to play these guys the whole game? Does that mean he's going to play them half the game? We don't know. We'll have to see. But I do think there's some purpose in some of that, mainly with the defense, to try to get these guys in a position where they're ready to go. It's improbable, obviously, that they get all the way up to number 2 with both Dallas and Philadelphia having to lose. But I also think he doesn't want to lose the game at 4 o'clock or 1 o'clock and see that happen in the 4 o'clock window. So I think it's still fluid. We'll see what they do when the game rolls around on Sunday.
Also, Dan, the Rams have decided to go with Carson Wentz this weekend. They will play him against the Niners. Niners already locked up the number 1. If the Bears lose to the Packers, if the Packers beat the Bears, the Lions can sit there and watch that 4 o'clock game unfold. If the Rams lose that game somehow, I think the Pack comes to town.
That is correct. If the Packers win and the Rams lose, Green Bay would move up to the number 6 seed, and the Rams would fall to number 7 seed. So it is still fluid in terms of which team the Lions will play, and I don't think that's improbable at all. First of all, I think Green Bay's going to have a battle on their hands against the Bears. Bears are playing good football right now.
They are.
And then you got a battle of the backups between the Rams and San Francisco. So, I mean, I don't have any idea who you would pick in that game, because I would have to imagine if Stafford's not playing, they're going to keep out a bunch of their frontline guys, and San Francisco is going to do the same thing. So it's kind of like some of these bowl games we had where everybody's opted out, and you're trying to figure out how good these teams actually are.
See, I don't think the Lions should opt out this weekend. I think when no matter how small the chances are, if that number 2 seed is dangled in front of you, press it all the way, force these other teams to win, and because that's the way Dan Campbell operates. That's the way the Lions' mentality needs to be. We're in it right up to the end and until you kick us out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's
I wouldn't
fair,
arrest
Terry,
people.
And I agree. That is the way that he's wired. And I think, like I said, defensively, I think this is a smart thing to play your guys. And I think that they need to figure out, what's this thing going to look like? You running 3 safeties? Are you taking somebody off the field that's been playing in that secondary? I don't know, do any of these guys slot over to the cornerback 2 position, which is really where they're kind of feeling the pinch right now. But, I agree with you. And I think there's something else that Dan Campbell has talked about, and that is he wants to have this team confident and playing well going into the postseason. And I think that goes to your point that that's about playing, about winning, and about playing the best that you can so that you are, feeling good about things as you hit Monday morning of playoff week and whoever you end up playing that following week.
So, Dan, let me get this straight. I love these scenarios. If the Lions win, if they beat the Vikings, and it'll be a 1-score game, of course. Let's say Green Bay beats the Bears. Let's say let's forget the Rams. Let's say San Francisco. What am I just trying to think here?
He's confused.
No,
It's
what
okay.
if Washington wins?
Maz, here it is. If Green
If
Bay
we get
loses,
the 2.
Can we get? Yes, you can get to 2. You can get to 2, but the Lions have to win, and then both Dallas and Philadelphia have to lose for the Lions to
Right.
get to 2.
So we'd get the Packers anyway?
So what are you talking about, staying at 3 or going to 2?
2.
Going to 2 is someone else.
If you go to 2, then you'd get the 7 seed, which right now that looks like it depending upon what happens. Right. As we sit here right now, it's Green Bay and the Rams.
So either way, we're getting them.
It looks like it, but if one of those, if Green Bay loses, Green Bay's in the spot that is still fluid, and if
Seattle.
Green Bay loses, that could set off a number of situations.
Seattle would jump up into there then. Oh my God!
So
just win, just win, baby.
I'm pulling this up. I'm pulling this up.
I think it's right. If Green Bay loses and the Rams lose, I think Seattle, if they win, they sneak up to the 7.
Yeah, because in the NFC, you have the 6 teams that have clinched, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what you're looking at. In the NFC, Niners, Cowboys, Lions, Eagles, Rams have all clinched. That leaves the Buccaneers and the Packers in the hunt. You got the Seahawks and Saints, Vikings on the bubble, who would need a lot more to happen. So Tampa Bay's in it by virtue of the fact that they're sitting there looking at the NFC North right now, NFC South right now.
Right.
They're leading the NFC South. They got Carolina, so chances are they're going to win that. So it's Green Bay losing could open the door for one of those other teams that's sitting there Seattle, Saints, Vikings, who would need a lot to happen at 7 and 9.
Wow.
You know what? I like this conversation because normally the conversation is if the Lions can win 9 out of their last 10 games, they can sneak into the number 7 playoff spot.
Yeah,
this is different.
Terry, sadly, this conversation is normally if the Lions lose and the Saints and whomever win, the Lions could move up to number 4 in the draft.
Yes,
so
right, exactly.
You know, that's normally what it is. Unfortunately, this is a lot better because you're talking about playoff possibilities, and you know, obviously going into Week 18 last year, we were talking about that as well. But yeah, this is a whole different world than where we've been before. But the simplest scenario is Packers-Rams. If the Packers lose, then that sets off a different scenario if the Rams then lose as well. But right now, it looks more than anything like Green Bay or LA, or the LA Rams.
You know, Big Dan, after the big 2-point conversion play, one or two things can happen to an NFL team. Sometimes teams say, you know what, we gave it our best shot. Woe is me. The NFL hates us. We're done. Or, and I think in this case, the Lions could be pissed off, full of spit and vinegar, and just become this unbearable team that can make a run in the playoffs in a conference where nobody wants to dominate. I think the Lions are going to be rough to knock out.
And I think, Terry, if you look at their history under Dan Campbell, they don't stay down long. This team hasn't lost 2 games in a row since October 30th of last year. And I think that's a testament to Campbell, the way he sets the tone for this team, the way he gets them ready to play. And I think that goes to what you're saying, that they're a rebound type of team. They don't stay down for long. So I don't anticipate what happened in Dallas will do anything but galvanize this team. I don't think there will be any long-lasting effect. And believe me, I think Monday, when Dan Campbell came out, you know, just all full of spit and vinegar, I just think, you know what that is. When those coaches are up there talking, they're not just talking to us. They're talking to their team as well. And I think he was saying, look, I'm ready to go. I'm using that as fuel, high octane, all that stuff. I think he was speaking to his team. I'm sure they got the same speech, but that was just him reinforcing it. So there's no doubt in my mind this team is going to be fired up to play Sunday, and this team will be fired up to play in the first round of the playoffs. And I think you guys know just as well as I do what that building is going to be like this Sunday, and more so what it's going to be like in that first round playoff game. It is going to be something to behold because there's a lot of pent up aggression and emotion that people have. It's going to come pouring out when that playoff game kicks off.
Dan Miller joins us, the voice of the Lions, of course, sports director of Fox 2 here in Detroit. Dan, I was watching that game in Jersey, and I didn't get to hear yours and Lomas's call. What was going through your mind? First, I want to ask you this. Did you guys hear when Brad Allen said that Dan Skipper, number 70, was eligible? We didn't hear it on the TV.
I saw Skipper run over to the official, and we are hit and miss when it comes to the referee's microphone.
Right.
Unfortunately, our engineer was not top notch.
Got it.
So we were getting up and down when it came to whether or not we got the official potted up or potted down. And it felt like we got about half of the call after the penalty before we lost that microphone. So I'll be honest with you, we were a little bit lost in terms of what was going on after the penalty nullified the 2-point conversion. At first, I thought it was about Skipper. That didn't make any sense. And then all of a sudden, it's got to be about Decker because he's the one that ultimately touched the ball. I had seen Taylor Decker go over and stand in front of the official. I had seen Skipper go over. So we weren't sure exactly what had happened, and we were just trying to guess at that point. We didn't have the luxury and the resources that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman would have had, A, with an official standing there, and B, with a clear communication to them from the referee on the field. So I'll be honest with you, we were a little bit lost in the radio booth trying to figure it out at that point.
Well, here's the kicker. We didn't hear it on TV either. And you always hear it. I listened to the Dallas, someone put up the Dallas radio broadcast, and you heard it clear that Brad Allen said number 70 is checked in, he's eligible. Now, Dan Campbell or someone on that Lions sidelines had to have heard that. What could they have done with no timeouts? Terry said maybe take a 5-yard penalty, delay it, because they were running an illegal play then, because this idiot said that Decker wasn't eligible.
Yeah, and I will tell you, TJ Lang was down on the sidelines and did not hear it. And one other thing that I would say about how much you can hear down there from Brad Allen is there were no Dallas players jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Their head coach was not jumping up and down.
They didn't hear it.
Saying, you didn't give him to us. Look at the tape.
Yeah.
McCarthy didn't budge.
No.
McCarthy looked at it like,
shucks.
Me, look
Yeah.
at that play they just ran. Nobody, unless there's an angle I haven't seen from the Dallas Cowboys, went running to Brad Allen and saying, you never told us 68 was eligible. I never saw that.
No.
Which gives you an indication in my mind of how hard it is to hear on the field with that crowd at full throat when he said that. And this has nothing to do with him misunderstanding Taylor Decker or misunderstanding Dan Skipper or anything like that. We're just talking at this moment about the announcement to the crowd. Our sideline guy didn't hear it. I don't know if the Lions heard it. I don't think based on their reaction the Dallas Cowboys heard it. And granted, listen, guys, I do know it was broadcast into the stadium. And I do know he did say that, even if he got it wrong. I do know he said it. So I just don't know if the guys on the field heard it because of everything that was going on there. So, I mean, as far as that part of it is concerned, that part of it's kind of murky to me because I just don't know what they hear down there because their reaction did not scream that they had heard him say somebody else.
And the flag was late,
to
too.
Terry's point, at that point, I'm not sure. If you didn't hear it, I don't know what you do. If you did hear it, I don't know what you do. You don't have any timeouts. You would have to take the penalty.
Right.
And that's really the last thing you want to do at that point. So it's,
I get it.
Well, Dan,
what
what I try to do, I try to take young guys like Maz into my bosom and try to educate them. I'm telling them, I bet you nobody on the field heard it. But he's like, oh no, you had to hear it. No, you didn't have to hear it. No. I'm betting nobody heard it on the field.
No, again, I look at the reaction of the Cowboys. If look at the reaction of Mike McCarthy, the TV takes a shot of him right after the play. He's not running to the official and saying, "Hey, hey,
Dan,
you told us 70 was eligible."
Now I gotta help you out. Now Mike McCarthy is brain dead, so he probably wouldn't have known anything anyway. That doesn't count.
Well, I just think any coach, given the information we're talking about and the ultimate outcome, or not the ultimate outcome, the outcome of the play would be like, there's no way 68 can be eligible if you told us 70 was.
Hey, last thing, Dan, I know you got to go. In hindsight now, after that play, I just lost my train of thought.
What he was going to ask you, in hindsight, should they gone for 1 point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have kicked the ball after the 5-yard penalty. I intimated that on the broadcast. And I just think if you look at a 4th and 7, it's difficult to convert. And that's ultimately what it is, a 4th and 7.
What do you think of the NFL putting that video out today?
And also, let me take that a step further. It is also difficult in the condensed red zone. You don't have as much room.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, look, given clarity, that probably is what I would have done. And we're also, we have something of the benefit of hindsight here. So, look, I just think 7 yards is a big ask. But that was his mindset, that he trusts his offense and wants to see his guys win that game. So, look, you can go back and forth all day on some of Dan Campbell's calls and things that have happened. And look, if the fake punt in the, in the Kansas City's end doesn't work, your own end doesn't work against the Chiefs, he's getting barbecued for that. It did work, and they ended up scoring. So, man, there's a million things that you can go back on and get used to it because that's who he is.
Yeah, I like it.
And that's how this is going to go.
Yeah. How about the NFL propaganda video today?
Listen,
maybe Dan hasn't seen it.
You could tell Terry knows how this works because he lived in that world. They start getting their guys out there to put their side of the story out. Look, here's where I stand. You had the officials that had it explained to them before the game by Dan Campbell, exactly what they were going to do and when they were going to do it. And then Brad Allen had a question and approached Dan Campbell in the pregame show, and Dan Campbell explained to him what they were going to do. And then Brad Allen comes out and says that Dan Skipper had reported a couple times. Dan Skipper reported one time in the first quarter of that game. There was no other times that he reported until that moment when he assumed, you know what happens, when he assumed that he had reported again. So if you explain something to somebody and then explain again to somebody, and Taylor Decker's an 8-year veteran, I don't think he went over there and asked Brad Allen how his kids are doing.
Nope.
I don't know what else you can do at that point. So I feel like the Lions did everything right. Was there a little bit of, we're trying to fool you going on?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but if only one guy speaks and he's 6'8", 350 pounds, chances are you're probably going to hear him. So
yeah.
But he never looked at Taylor Decker. He was looking at Skipper the whole way, who wasn't even close to them.
I don't disagree with you trying to read the long view of the video, but if a 6'8" man is standing in front of me, I'm usually going to listen to what he has to say because Taylor Decker's done this before. Taylor Decker has been a eligible receiver before. He knows what reporting is all about.
Thanks, Dan. I have a great game on Sunday. We'll be listening. Lomas Brown and Dan Miller on the Lions radio network. Go Lions, man. Thanks, Dan.
Guys, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for staying along with us. Much appreciated. Lots to talk about, Terry, and I could have went on and on and on. Dan's got a show to prep for. He's got the 5 o'clock news to prep for still.
That's right. He doesn't just call Lion games.
He doesn't just call Lion games. You know that? Hey, we got plenty more coming back, guys. Hey, what are your thoughts? Hit it up on the chat. Hopefully we hit everything for you with Dan Miller. But this is like only a little peel off the onion. The NFL and the Lions. Doesn't matter right now. Lions and the Vikings coming up on Sunday. Lions favored by 3. We'll be back right after JB tells us about Swiss.
Yes, Swiss. Do you have football on the brain like us? Of course you do. It's already been an amazing season with college and professional football, but it doesn't have to stop there. It's also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with the pros at Swiss Insurance. They cover us here at WSN, and they should be covering you as well. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com, or as always, give them a call at 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Join Woodward Sports and a long drink live this Sunday for the Lions official VIP tailgate. It's at Easter Market in Shed number 5, and you know they're going to close it out with a bash starting at 9:30 all the way up until game time. But how would you like to pregame it with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? We're talking about food, beverages, and entertainment all included. Get your tickets online today at bullseyeeventgroup.com or win some from us here at Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on IG, and direct message Lions VIP.
Hey gang, it's Maz and my man Terry Foster in for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz here on Woodward Sports. Thanks to Dan Miller, gave us all that extra time today. I mean, I could have kept him the whole damn show. It's like trying to peel an onion, and you heard him. they couldn't hear the referee up there, which was odd to me. So there might have been a chance, maybe a little, that one of the Lions did not hear Brad Allen call out for number 70.
Yeah, I think people, including you, assume that when you're on the field, you can everything.
Yeah.
It's not true. I mean, there's a lot of things that when you're on the field that just, it's like, it's like it blends into the crowd noise. I'm betting no one heard that down there, so they couldn't just react and call a timeout or switch the play or whatever.
They just ran it.
It's hectic down there.
They ran it, and it worked to perfection. Unfortunately, the late flag got him. And it was a late flag, if you remember.
Very, very late.
Usually when something like that happens, the flag comes out instantly.
Now, can I be bad for a second?
Yeah, you always are.
Okay. Maybe if Dallas knew it was going to Taylor Decker, maybe they would have defended it the right way, and it never would have worked.
Well, then someone else would have been open.
Well, it wouldn't have been a lineman. It wouldn't have been skipper. Wouldn't have been. Yeah. But you know, one of my problems is with the third 2-point conversion. Why pass to somebody who can't play?
Well, he threw it down on his feet.
I know, but if
James
he's thrown
Mitchell
it,
is a good tight end.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Is he as good as Sam Laporta?
No, he would have been a first-round pick had it not been for his knee injury.
Is he as good as Sam Laporta?
No, there's not many guys that are.
Is he as good as Amon-Ra St. Brown?
No, he's different.
Then why not go to somebody who can play?
Because you go to a receiver that you don't think the other team's going to get it. The other team saying, no, they're not going to throw to James Mitchell.
You know
so
why?
What does Ben Johnson say?
Because they know he's not going to succeed.
Listen, Goff threw it around his ankles. He did. But he was getting rushed.
But even if he'd thrown it, he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, he would have. That takes us to our premier pet supply player of the game. Guess who it is?
Poopsie.
It's Poopsie. It's Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh, yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson, 5 tackles, 3 sacks, and he just danced all over that Dallas offensive line, and he made Dak Prescott's life a living hell. And if only I apologize. If only Derek Barnes would have learned how to tackle back into Pee Wee football, he would have been able to tackle Dak Prescott and have a 5-0 lead over the Dallas Cowboys. You know why I wanted that?
Ball.
You know why I wanted that so bad?
Why?
Because if you remember, the Lions in 1970 played the Dallas Cowboys. What was the score?
5-0.
It was Dallas 5-0. And I just thought, how apropos if the Lions have a 5-0 lead here.
But it wouldn't have ended 5-0, so who cares?
Well, you don't know that.
It wouldn't have.
I just wanted to bring that up. So thank you to Premier Pet Supply. You know they're the best. Give your pet the best. They are hands down Michigan's best pet store, with one major difference, of course, the conveniences of the online and big box retailers all rolled up into one. For 35 years, they've been owned and operated, 60 brands of food, and they've got curbside delivery if you need that as well. Give your pet the best. It's PremierPetSupply.com. We are back with Intern Alex. He's in the house today. But first, let's listen to Prickly Pete's buyback.
Well, I'm going to need your guys' help on this. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800. That's 1-800.
Stay out.
That's right. Stay out.
Guardian Alarm.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Less Stanford, more Maz. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people, like Terry Foster. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. lesstanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them. And back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and T-Foss. And now we're joined by Intern Alex.
All right. Welcome back, folks. Big day, big weekend for, of course, football fans here in the beautiful city of Detroit. By the way, Terry, you know, in March, coming up in March, I will be here. I will have lived in Michigan for half my life. 31 years. 31 years in Detroit, in New Jersey. 31 years here in Michigan.
Beautiful.
What is that? Does that make me a Michigander officially?
Well, I think at that point you can choose what you just want to be.
Well,
so you a New Jersey guy? You still got the New Jersey accent.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I've lost that long ago.
No, you don't. Yes, you do. You're New.
Man, you still
when
got
you
the
talk,
Jersey accent.
You know, you're either from New Jersey or New York.
No, honest to God, still, you guys think I still have a Jersey accent?
Yes.
Usually when I go home.
All right. Here we go. Let's take a vote.
Yep.
Sneaky Pete.
Yep.
New York or New Jersey in that voice?
Oh, New Jersey all the way, baby.
JB?
Oh, it's Jersey all the way.
Yeah.
Intern?
Big question. Who do you root for, Michigan or Rutgers?
Oh, come on.
Nobody. They don't root for Rutgers in New Jersey, dude.
Yeah, my sister does.
Debate, though.
Oh, your
Michigan.
sister's weird then.
Michigan. I've been rooting for Michigan, Alex, since it was 1970. 1970. I don't know if your parents were born in 1970.
They were.
Okay.
They were there.
All right. So anyway, I'm a Michigan guy with my Jersey heart. That's all. That's the way I
Okay,
look
you
at
just
it.
have a weird accent. That's all.
If you say so. I thought I lost it all. I've been vanilla-ized by you guys.
Well, you don't hear yourself.
Thankfully.
We hear you.
You don't hear yourself. Thank
You don't.
God
When
he
you
doesn't.
talk, you don't feel you have an accent. You don't feel you talk weird or anything like that.
Ask the chat if I got a Jersey accent.
We will do that.
I don't think I do. I really don't.
We'll put up a what do you call it, a poll.
See the poll, Cougar?
See the poll, Cougar?
Anyway.
All right, get the intern, baby.
Welcome back. Alex. Alex is here. Brought to you by Skinny Butcher. The Skinny Butcher. It's our Wolverine Wednesday with intern Alex. Alex, you were there at the Rose Bowl, weren't you?
I was, yeah. It really is the best setting for college football in the bowl games. If it can't be Michigan Stadium, always on the Rose Bowl. It is just like perfect. It's sunny. It has been for the past 90-something Rose Bowls. Another beautiful day for a great victory for Michigan.
I will say this, Terry and Alex and folks. I believe I've been to Rose Bowl once, 97, when Michigan won their first.
I was there. How come we didn't hang
first
out?
natty. I think we saw each other. I'm not sure if we hung out or not. I was with Courtney and those guys.
Oh, that's why we didn't hang out.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, where'd you stay, by the way? Do you remember?
I stayed at the Airport Marriott.
The Airport Marriott. Oh, we stayed at the Team Hotel.
Oh,
we were
excuse me.
WJR had to be with the Team Hotel.
I'm trying to get my Marriott points, brother.
Anyway, nonetheless, the Rose Bowl, it's an old stadium, guys, but it is. You walk in there, and like electricity goes through your body. I believe for the Super Bowl, I think the Rose Bowl should be first of all, I think the Rose Bowl should be the national championship game every year.
Agreed.
The national
agree with
championship,
that, but
every year.
not the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, it should get back into the rotation. It's out of the rotation.
Okay, that stadium. Here's the thing: you romantic guy. That stadium kind of sucks.
It's old. I know
it's
that.
old.
I get that.
The setting is great, but the stadium sucks.
I said that. It's old. It's an older stadium.
You didn't say it sucked. You just said it's an older stadium.
I don't think it sucks. It's
sucks.
not Ford Field, clean and beautiful. It's the Rose Bowl.
It's got crumbling cement.
What's wrong with that?
It's hard to get to the press box.
Well, I love the Joe Louis Arena.
That stadium.
I love Tiger Stadium.
No. Joe Louis was the worst NHL stadium in the country.
Was not.
It was. It smelled.
So it smelled good.
It smelled like sewer and crap.
Yeah.
If you sat in the seat for the whole game, your knees hurt. because they were too close together. Joe Louis Arena sucked and was the worst stadium in the NHL. Let me take that back. It's the worst NHL stadium I'd ever been in.
All right, nonetheless.
Except maybe for St. Louis.
Bring it back to the Rose Bowl. Alex, was that your first visit to the Rose Bowl?
Actually, no. Both of my parents had gone to Michigan State, believe it or not. So I was there in
Oh.
2013 when they took on Stanford and won. So I'm 2-0
Wow.
for teams in the state of Michigan at the Rose Bowl.
Hey.
So if we make it again, got a good trend going right there.
Tell,
But-
tell us about the whole. Did Michigan take over that stadium?
So yeah, coming from the outside, it seemed like it was more Michigan than Alabama by far. It seemed like almost 4-1 on the golf course stuff. It seemed all Michigan. But once you got inside the stadium, I don't know if it's just that crimson pops way more than the blue and maize, but it felt about like 60-40 Michigan from there. And also the Alabama fans were super loud the entire game, especially in the third quarter when it felt like Alabama started to take control of the game. And with their rushing attack, and they were really giving Michigan offense some trouble.
Now, who was more obnoxious, the Alabama fans or the Michigan fans?
Or the Michigan State fans?
Well, I would never find the Michigan fans obnoxious, so, because we never are, obviously. So that's got to go to Alabama. But overall, it's pretty civil. I mean, I went to the last two college football playoff games. Alabama fans were way more civil than Georgia or TCU fans the past 2 years, so it was good that way.
Did you see Paul Feinbaum scouring around anywhere?
I did, yeah. I saw their little pop-up broadcast at halftime. I could see the light reflect off his head from miles
Nice,
away. So,
nice.
yeah.
Did he apologize at all? I didn't really pay attention to him.
He said that Harbaugh coached Saban, so that's the most of an apology I'll ever get out of Paul Feinbaum.
Well,
But,
he also said that he's not going to give Michigan an asterisk because of the cheating.
Oh, good.
That this national championship appearance is legit.
All right.
So he's
That's
back
good.
down a little
Good
bit.
for him. Good for the little guy. Good for the little guy.
Well, he's got some really big ears. That's all I can tell you.
He does. Alex, what'd you take out of this game? I mean, it started. It was like a disaster when it first started. They couldn't get out of their own way the first two possessions, and then to end the game the way they did in regulation, almost getting a safety on that punt. My heart was in my throat.
Yeah, I mean, if that would have been a safety, that may have been the most heartbreaking loss of my life. But it was a real character win.
It would have been the worst loss in the history of football.
For sure, yeah. No, but it was a real character win, especially after that first throw when it seemed like an interception. JJ, shook out the rust a little bit, and then the muff punt. At first, I was thinking it felt like last year's TCU game, like coming to life again. It felt just like that. But Michigan really pulled together, and most importantly, like props to the defense because they won us that game. And they kept them around. They shut down Merrill's deep ball, which he's one of the best deep ball passers in college football last year. And they really did everything they could to make sure that game stayed in control and Michigan's offense couldn't get it going.
Terry, I want to ask you this as well as Alex. Blake Corum, to me, made himself an NFL player in that game?
I think he's already established that. I don't think he hurt himself or helped himself. They know what Blake Corum is.
He helped himself.
I think he's already established himself as an NBA player, NFL player, way before this. He just,
But he wasn't looked at as a guy that was going to be taken highly. I believe that he will jump up in this draft. I would love him on my team. I want him I want him to go to the Giants. I want him to go to the New York Giants.
Okay. Well,
because Saquon's going to go.
I disagree only
They love
because of
Michigan
this.
players.
NFL, running backs are a dime a dozen. You don't get this big boost because you're a running back. The NFL, it's almost like they don't like running backs. Now, if he had that type of game as a wide receiver, I could see that. As a running back, they're like, okay, whatever, dude.
What'd you think of Blake Corum's game, Alex?
So yeah, my two big takeaways from Corum's game is first, and you've heard this all year and stuff. Whenever people talk about passing to running backs, it's always only about Donovan Edwards.
Yeah.
No one ever brings up Blake Corum as a
that's why I
receiver,
brought it up.
and he finally established himself that way. And then more importantly, this is the first time all year I think Corum looked like himself pre-injury from last year.
Yeah, he did.
I get had quietly. He got the touchdowns this year, but his yards were almost half as much as they were last year. This is the first game I feel like we really saw the burst and the speed that we did last year. Like that jump cut on that
my
final
God.
touchdown run. He jumped like 5 yards laterally and then just kept going, and he would not be denied. So I do agree with you that this game was massive for his draft stock, especially against such a good defense like
that was
Alabama.
Le'Veon Bell-esque.
Yeah, it was the best run I've ever seen from a running back in Michigan history. It was just absurd.
And what's your take on JJ's performance?
JJ played well, honestly. He shook off the rust a little bit after that first interception, and he had to deal with that's the toughest defensive backfield he'll deal with all year in college football. and those big 2 edge rushers. So all things considered, I think he played decently well. I think he did not get the most help. There were some bad drops by Michigan, but overall, it was a good game. And good thing is next week, Washington has the worst pass defense Michigan will face all year and one of the worst in college football. So it's going to be way easier to perform next week.
Michigan comes in as a 4.5-point favorite next week, Terry, in Houston.
Okay, and that's probably legit because Washington doesn't have a defense. But let me ask you, young man, who should have been the VP of the game?
The Alabama center.
Oh, I mean, he helped us out a ton,
true.
but if you're doing it offensively, it should have been Corum's award to win for offensive MVP. But yeah, Alabama center, total miscues. He just entered the transfer portal like 2 hours ago, so
Did he?
That's not going to be a problem for them next year, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
He'll be
That
at
poor
CMU.
kid. That poor kid, man.
I know.
I actually felt bad, really bad for him. I was happy, but I felt bad for him.
I think he didn't enter the transfer portal. I think the Alabama fans ran him out of town.
I think Nick Saban kicked his ass into the
Right.
transfer portal.
Nick-
You see
Nick
that
was
Dr.
pissed.
Pepper commercial where they lose the quarterback?
Oh, yeah,
they're
that's right.
holding him. They just pushed him right into that.
Yeah,
into that
they
mat.
didn't. They didn't try
I
to
love
hold
those
the
Dr.
boy.
Pepper commercials, by the way. Hey, welcome back to Wolverine Wednesday with intern Alex, brought to you by the Skinny Butcher. And
I agree with you. Blake Corum should have been the MVP. I have a philosophy why he wasn't.
Go ahead.
Because the ballots by the media are turned in with 3 to 5 minutes left in regulation. So they never saw Blake Corum take over in overtime. They didn't see those plays when the ballots came in. So that's what pisses me off when I've covered Super Bowls, the big bowls.
You got to vote too quick.
Right. It's like, okay, it's 17-17, and you want me to pick an MVP, and then you try to guess who's going to play well in the last 2 minutes. So you turn in your ballot, and like all the time it's, shoot, I should have picked the other guy.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports here, Terry. I thought we were off there for a second, Pete. You scared me. You scared me, Pete.
I didn't touch anything.
I saw the thing go. I saw the thing blink.
Oh,
I got PTSD.
No, you're good.
When you got Pete in the booth, you're good.
I know. I got PTSD. on
Nothing
that
bad
one.
happens.
All right, let's talk about Monday's game. First of all, thank God it's not the month wait is over. They got the bugs out of the system. Now, if you remember last year when Georgia almost lost to Ohio State, Georgia wasn't ready, but Georgia started getting ready, and before you know it, they punched poor TCU in the mouth and took it over. What do you think this game? How does this game match up, Alex?
Yeah, so this game, the short week, obviously favors the better team, but I think I'm feeling good about Michigan so far. Washington, they have an elite passing offense with Michael Penix, all that. He should have won the Heisman over Jaden Daniels. They have those big 3 receivers, but I think they're going to be kind of one-dimensional this week. Like we saw their starting running back get carted off against Texas. And due to that, I think the way Washington's constructed, this game can go one of 2 ways. And one way is good for Michigan, one is bad for Michigan. The best way it goes like the 2021 Ohio State game, because if you look at them, these 2 teams are very similar. They have elite quarterback, 3 great receivers, and a great left tackle, but then some weaknesses on the inside of the line that Michigan can exploit. Or if it goes the way we don't want it to, it will be like the TCU game last year where Michigan kind of panics, lights are too bright, and they try to turn it into a track meet, which is not the type of game Michigan wins.
Now, I'll tell you, man, like I said earlier, Washington almost piddled that game against Texas away at the end of that game. Do you think that rolls over into this game at all?
Yeah, I think a little. I think they're going to be kind of intimidated by Michigan, but Washington has shown up in the big games this year, and they played well. They almost lost it in a heartbreaking fashion, but I don't think that's going to be the biggest effect for them this week.
Terry, who do you like in this game?
I like Michigan. I think they'll beat Washington.
You think Michigan is going to be the national champion?
I do. First time in my life, I believe they will be national champion. I didn't pick them to beat Alabama because I had to see for the first time in my life that they're on the same field and they're not getting mollywopped by an elite SEC team. I had to see that for myself before I believed in Michigan.
Well, I want to say this. We all know Alabama escaped this year. 4th and 32 against Auburn in the Iron Bowl.
Oh, my God.
And they get the touchdown. Without that, even if they beat Georgia, I don't think they're in this Final Four. But it happens. Everything happened for them. Alex, I'm going to ask you, do you think Georgia would have been the harder team to beat?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would have been way more scared of Georgia than Alabama. Alabama had many weak games. They were tied with USF at halftime this year.
Yeah.
Like, this is not, I've said it so many weeks before on the show as well, this is not your typical Alabama team. They did not have many standout offensive playmakers. As we kind of saw, they couldn't get the deep ball going at all in this Michigan offense. They weren't that effective running it with their backs. it was not your best Alabama team. They had a good defense, which should Nick Saban special. But no, I'm so glad we got to play Alabama over Georgia last week.
Yeah, let me help you out when you have future conversations about Alabama. All you have to do is say, Alabama is not Alabama.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
They're not this team that you look at and say, oh my God. I mean, they're not an elite team.
You weren't. Well, I know you're not a fan, but I'm going to say, you weren't afraid Nick Saban was going to outcoach Jim Harbaugh at all.
That was a concern. Yes, but he didn't have the horses. I mean, we always talk about being outcoached. We got this coach. No, you need the horses on the field to win.
What Feinbaum said, Harbaugh outcoached Saban this time.
I don't care what Feinbaum said. And see, goofballs like you, when Feinbaum says something you don't like. No. When Feinbaum says something you don't like,
because
he's a bald-headed fool.
He's a big mouth.
But when he says something you like, did you hear what Feinbaum said? Oh my God,
not this time, Terry. You don't have it right this time because I'm not a Feinbaum fan. So
I know that. That's the point I'm making.
But he's kissing our ass now. He's kissing Michigan's ass now. So I don't take what he says anything. I don't. Why you always got to call me out
because
like that?
You get pissed when he says something bad about Michigan. Oh, he's an SEC guy.
Because he's a prick.
Right. But now he says something you agree with. Oh, Paul Feinbaum said this. Oh, guys, just listen to him.
I just brought up that he brought up the fact that Harbaugh outcoached Saban.
He don't know that.
I'm just
Paul
saying.
Feinbaum is a bag of wind.
All right, Alex, are you going to Houston?
I will be in Houston,
you
yes.
son of a gun. Wow.
Yeah, hopefully.
Good for you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully get to see them finally lift up that college football playoff trophy. First Big Ten team since Ohio State and first national championship of my lifetime.
If we were in Houston, I'd take you to this restaurant called This Is It.
That's the restaurant?
Yeah.
What's so good about it?
It's in the hood. It's a soul food place, and it's like phenomenal. It's an NBA stop. Everybody, the players always stop. This is it.
It's close to the where the Rockets play? Or they go out of their way
really.
for it?
It's sort of out in the middle of the city, and it's in a weird spot.
So wait, are you sending Alex and his family there?
Yeah.
All right, good enough.
Make sure you have one black person at your table, so just to be safe.
This is it. Is it called, Alex?
All right, got it. We'll mark it down. Yeah.
I don't want anything to happen to you.
Hey, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got more with Alex, more Lions talk, more NFL news. But first, I got to tell you about Big Boy. Of course, wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmigiano, the Southern Comfort chicken bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. So are the classic lumberjack and Santa Fe garden omelet. The new apple pie hotcakes are too good to miss. And make sure you finish it off with a new gingerbread shake for dessert. They also have the old vanilla chocolate, strawberry, and of course Oreo at your local Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey guys, it's Maz for Jack Labrador. You know the new game. By the way, rest in peace to the same old Lions routine. Big thanks to Sheila, Brad, and Dan for putting them to rest. And guess what else found the grave? You know it, the same old rock, paper, scissors game. Jack Labrador has revolutionized that tired game with 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing three-point play. Discover the action at jacklabrador.com. And right now, or you can go to that little code up there. What do they call that?
QR
code.
QR code.
jacklabrador.com. Welcome back. Ermanni, Edwards, and Maz, and Terry Foster today. JB in the house, along with Pete Spivak. And we got Alex, intern Alex, sitting in the Maz chair. You comfy in there, Alex?
Oh, yeah. Great chair.
All right, my friend.
It is a good chair, man.
Thank you.
And you know what you're sitting on? The Tom Mazaway hemorrhoid pillow.
That's kind of supposed to, that's the orthopedic back pillow he's there
Right.
with as well. I got both
Even though
pillows.
you're too young to have hemorrhoids.
I got both pillows going.
With your FiberCon.
Hey, Pete, put up the Rose Bowl, the rankings. The most watched semifinal since year one. You know how many people watched this Rose Bowl? Over 27 million people
Doesn't surprise
watched this Rose Bowl.
Michigan is a draw.
Isn't that something?
Yep. That's why Michigan gets favored treatment.
Yes.
Because they know people want to see them. People are willing to spend money. And so they want Michigan in semifinals. They want Michigan in huge games because people turn out and watch them.
Man, look at those numbers, man. Those are big numbers. Now, they don't compare to the NFL, but pretty damn close to the NFL numbers there. That's the second most watched game instead of an NFL game. Like, it's unbelievable what people want to watch. And it was a great matchup. It really was. On paper, it was a great matchup. And I went back to the Orange Bowl in 2000 when the Alabama played Michigan. It was Tom Brady's last game. I happened to be there. And that game went to overtime. So in the fourth quarter, I texted out to some friends. I'm like, I got a hunch this game's going to overtime. And Alabama is going to miss the extra point. Michigan's going to win it, just like they did in 2000. Do you remember that game?
What are you, a soothsayer?
And look what happened. It almost happened.
Now, my Michigan-Alabama connection is when I was a young journalist. The very first game I covered was the Hall of Fame Bowl. Michigan and Alabama.
That's in Mobile, Alabama, isn't it?
No, that is in Tampa.
Oh, okay.
Now it's the
Citrus. No.
I know
Outback.
They
It's
have
the Outback.
They have no. It's the Outback is still there. The Citrus is still, but they also had the Hall of Fame Bowl,
Okay.
which is now the.
I thought it changed to the.
They switched the name, but
Yeah.
they still had the Citrus, the Outback,
Right.
and the
Okay.
Hall of Fame is called something else.
I think it
now.
might be the Cheez-It Bowl now. Because that makes sense. New Year's
I
Day,
thought the
Tampa.
Cheez-It is the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl now.
Oh, who knows?
Who knows? I lost track.
You know what? If I had my phone, I didn't bring my phone.
That's
No,
okay.
I think you're right, Terry. I think it is a
Um,
Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
No. The Hall of Fame Bowl is not the Citrus Bowl.
Right. Okay.
They're
So
two
it
different
was a
things.
standalone game that's
Right.
now changed its name.
And Michigan beat Alabama 28-24. Now, I got a story for that one, too.
Let's hear it. What year is this?
1988.
88.
I got to know Michigan players because I was covering the team, and I told them they always talked about wanting to go to this strip club called Mons Venus.
I heard of that.
And I said, nah, you don't want to go to Mons Venus. I got a better strip club. It's called Odyssey 5000. And I said, if you clowns, knuckleheads beat Alabama, we'll go to the strip club. So I kind of forgot about it. And then after the game, I saw a couple guys I know, they said, hey, strip club. I said, nah, I was just kidding. We're not going. So anyway, the day after a game, I'm writing my follow-up stories, and there's this pounding on the door. And I looked up, and I saw like 5 of the Michigan players. One of them, it was this big defensive tackle, Billy Harris. Jamie Morris was out there, who you know. John Colazar, who caught the game-winning touchdown. And they said, we're going to the strip club. I said, dudes, I was only kidding. We're not going to the strip club.
What would Bo have done to you?
Huh?
What would Bo have done to you?
Bo was not on the trip. He had heart surgery.
Oh, wow. Who
Yeah.
coached that game? Moeller?
Yeah.
Or Lloyd?
Moeller. I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So we ended up going to the strip club, and I was on the team flight. I never fly with the team, but it was the only time I did.
Oh,
And so they let them stay in Tampa for one extra day to go to the beach.
Yeah.
Well, the beach was a strip club.
Oh, man.
So anyway, we're there having a good time. We had lunch, we had dinner, and all this stuff, and of course strippers. And then at one point I say, fellas, we gotta go. And they like, why? I said, you're gonna miss the team plane. The team plane was supposed to leave at 11 p.m. who are still in the strip club. And I said, but y'all got to make the last team bus. So we leave the strip club at 8:30. They barely made the bus, which left at 9:30. They barely made the flight. Now, if they had missed the flight, my ass would have been in trouble, too.
Man, I'm surprised you still didn't get in trouble.
Bo never found out.
Good.
And here's another thing. This was a funny thing. After, leading up, all the Michigan players said, no, this is just because Bo wasn't there. And they said, no, this is a business trip. Things don't change, and we're going to be disciplined and all this stuff. And I knew that was bullshit. So anyway, I talked to Jamie Morris. He had talked about all this. I said, dude, is this true? He said, well, the only thing I can tell you is the first time we huddled up, the huddle smelled like beer.
Oh, man. I got to talk to Jamie about this. Hey, we got one more quick break. We'll be back to wrap it up. Pete, what do you got for us?
I'm going to do some more FairwayPacking.com. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Co. has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or order online at FairwayPacking.com.
Attaboy.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
That's right, and come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tourney. That's right, no expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. And now back to Maz, T-Foss, and Intern Alex.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Sports Guys.
Can I challenge something?
Here. Please do.
Alex, you said that this was the biggest Michigan victory that you've ever seen.
He's young.
Yeah, he's young. I'm wondering, you're so young. Have you even seen Michigan lose in football yet?
Yes, I have. Lifelong. First game I remember watching was the 2006 Michigan-Ohio State game. So start off great there, then get App State to start off the next year. So I've lived through it all. I was there at the 2015 Michigan State game watching trouble to snap. JT was short. I lived through the drought. I have probably the worst record in this room of Michigan-Ohio State in my lifetime by win percentage. So
I still believe that trouble with the snap was the lowest point of Michigan football.
You know whose fault that was? And he got no criticism for that?
The head coach for not calling a timeout?
No. Why do you have gunners when Michigan State is selling out to block the punt?
Good point. So the special teams coach.
But nobody said anything.
But really the head coach should have called timeout.
Sure.
And that's Jim Harbaugh. And I said it to this day. I saw the soul, the ghost of Jim Harbaugh come out of his body that day. And he wasn't the same. And it took him to just 3 years ago to come back to the guy I thought he was going to be when he was hired. And now I wouldn't want any other coach. I wouldn't want any other coach.
But you know why he became good? This is just me talking. He brought in these young coaches that could identify more with players. He gave up the ghost of
Yeah, I'm a coach, and I coached in the 2000 or the 1975 Orange Bowl.
Right.
I got all this experience. No, you be bringing in young guys who motivate players, sort of like Dan Campbell does. And see, I don't think players want to hear all this old crap.
They don't. Our chat doesn't want to hear it probably either, but we gave it to them anyway.
Hey,
we gave it to
the
them
way
anyway.
it goes.
Alex, are you a big Jim Harbaugh guy? Do you think the latest rumor today is Jim Harbaugh to the Raiders is the real deal?
I'm starting to feel worse and worse about Harbaugh staying at Michigan with us having the national championship, because it'd be so easy to be like, came back, I was savior, beat Ohio State 3 years ago, got us the national championship. And the fact that he's not signed this rumored contract, hopefully he is just focused on these games, so it makes me not feel great. But ultimately, if I had to pick right now, I do think Jim Harbaugh would be at Michigan next year. I don't have a ton of logic to back that up, but I just have a gut feeling that
we got 30 seconds, Terry.
All right, here's it. Do you still love Jim Harbaugh? Are you sick of the shenanigans? Because every year he's threatening to leave.
No, the success he's brought us, I'll love him for that forever. So
Me too.
All right.
I hope he stays. Do you think he does?
If he win Monday,
yeah,
I think he's gone.
Fair enough.
He'll want to compete with his brother, and
fair enough.
He'll see if he can win that Super Bowl.
Hey, it could be Ravens 49ers again this year.
It could be.
That was the Harbaugh.
I got a conspiracy theory.
All right,
have
got
you
10
seen?
seconds.
Have you seen the NFL Super Bowl logo?
Oh yeah, the colors.
The colors.
Yeah.
It's Raven purple and
And-
San Francisco red.
Yeah.
Which means they're going to play each other in the Super Bowl.
There's a good chance of that. Anyway,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely right.
Bam.
Here's your favorite shot, Tommy.
Oh, I love it. The Brady Bunch shot.
What's up, JB?
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Thanks for tuning in today. Ermanni Edwards.
Hey,
will
real
be
quick,
back
Alex.
tomorrow.
Hey, Intern
After the game,
Alex,
did you
how
get
are
laid?
Huh?
Did you get laid after the game?
I was out of my
Tell? He doesn't kiss and tell.
Okay, all right. I didn't ask you to say who.
Okay. He doesn't
Well, all the
kiss and
little
tell.
Michigan
You're
girls are all
embarrassing the poor
happy.
guy. You're embarrassing him.
I know. Yeah, he's turning red.
Hey, for Braylon and Ryan, they'll be back tomorrow. For JB, for Pete, for Intern Alex, for T-Foss, I'm T-Maz. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Go Blue. Go
Blue.
Lions.